Hello, hello, and welcome into the weekly mixing stream here. We're a little bit late today. I'm usually trying to be on here by about 1 p.m. It's almost 1:20 now, so sorry about being a little bit late here. But we are mixing a cover of Hold the Line by Toto today. Pretty iconic classic rock song. Great drums, great bass part, iconic piano part, and of course an iconic lead guitar as well as vocal part. It's probably one of Bobby Kimball's best known vocal performances. Some pretty awesome vocal runs in this one. So it'll be a fun one to tackle here. This is pretty much my bread and butter here, kind of rock song with piano, guitars, and then background vocals and such as well. I've got everything pulled down here. We're going to be starting over on the mix bus here, but as per usual, if you want to mix along with this song, there is a link in the description of the video. You can download the multi-tracks for this song completely for free, so you can pull them into your DAW, you can follow along and mix along with the stream. Otherwise, you can just use them for your own mixing practice, and there's tons and tons of other multi-tracks on that page as well, from like almost 2 years of these weekly mixing streams now. Always a new set of multi-tracks. We pull them in, we mix them live here on stream. The replays stay up, so grab any of the multi-tracks that you want, and then there's a link back to the stream that goes along with each set of multi-tracks as well. But let's jump in here and get started. I do have my mix bus processing set up for this track. So I've got the console shaper, just using the drive, down at 0 though, no noise, no crosstalk, nothing like that going on. Just utilizing some of that console drive, but keeping it down at 0. I'm not pushing too hard with this unit, not oversaturating anything, just a little bit of that extra depth from the console shaper. Next up, I'm using the PreSonus Brit Comp here, their SSL style bus compressor. Thresholds at negative 1.6, 2-to-1 ratio, 30 millisecond attack, 100 millisecond release. And then I've got a dB of makeup gain. We're only going to be shooting for about 2, maybe 3 dB of reduction with this unit here on Mix A. Following that, at the end of my Mix A chain, which is where I'm doing the bulk of my mix bus processing, I have this soft tube tape machine, 5.1 on the color amount. I run it on the B type because I feel it gives me the most bottom end warmth, the most bottom end weight out of this tape machine. You can kind of mess with the other settings for more top end or a little bit more balanced of a sound. And then 30 IPS for the tape speed there. I'm kind of just sitting between 7 and 3 on the VU meter there, hovering around 5 is where I like to be, not pushing it too hard. I've got some parallel processing that will mix in towards the end of the session, but both Mix A and Mix B here are sending in by actual mix bus. And here I'm just doing a little bit of mastering style limiting. So 6 dB gain into a negative 1 dB ceiling. You can see I pull my main output down by almost 6 dB though. This gives me that mastering volume and that little bit of mastering style limiting, but I'm not listening super loud. And this isn't something I'll print my mix through. I'll disable this plugin when I print my mix to send it off to the mastering session. This is just a plugin I like to monitor through, so there's no surprises when it comes time to master the track volume-wise or limiter or transient-wise or anything like that. So that's what's going on the master bus. So let's scroll over here, and we are going to get into the actual track here. So I'm going to solo up the kick drum to start. So we got a kick in. There's our kick out. And then there's our kick sub. Now sometimes these will be a little bit out of phase, so it's always good to kind of check. So they are here. So let's make sure we want to flip the phase here on the sub. So let's do a little bit of rebalancing, make sure we're okay here. So I like where the kick out's sitting. Let's blend in some of the sub. Sometimes I kind of like to look at the frequency balance as well as I do this. So I'll pull in my kick level. I like that right there at around -17. First thing I like to do on kick drum is just a touch of limiting, just so it's a little bit more controlled and a little bit more leveled going into our EQ and compression. So let's kind of see where our bigger peaks are on the drum. Looks like we got one here and here. So if we start at -9, so there's a little bit bigger. So let's pull it back by about 2 dB or so. 7. I don't want anything too crazy going on. That feels much better. Let's see this guy here. That's feeling pretty good. Now, I might double up on this and bring it down another 3 dB, just to kind of see. I like that. I actually really like that. So we're going to move on. Just a little bit of control on the sub here. Nothing too crazy there. We got some ringing going on though, so let's find that. Let me tweak the volume a little bit there as well. Right there. And one right there. That was the other one I'm hearing. Okay, let's do some compression here. Speeding up the release a little bit so our kick drum isn't getting cut off or choked by the compressor. That I like. That feels like it's moving perfectly in time with our kick drum here. Now I want to look at the bottom here next. So if I come just a touch lower, the fundamentals right here around 80. Let's see if we boost it like 70. If it helps kind of flatten out the sub. I apologize if you can hear the air kicking on. It's pretty hot where I am. I kind of really dig that. I've been liking throwing like a limiter on the bus just to kind of check the level of everything. That's really solid. So let's add some click here. With this faster kick drum part, we definitely want to hear that top end click. I'm going to leave it there for the moment, I think. Let's kind of see where we're sitting. Cool, let's listen to our snare. We got some ringing we'll have to deal with, but same kind of thing we did on our kick drum is what I'm going to do first. I'm going to hit it with a limiter just on the group here, and I'm just going to look for the bigger peaks. So if we start at 8, let's pull it back one more. Let's pull that back. So we're going to go back another 2 to 5. Okay, so if we're at 5 and then we put this one at 3 dB back. We could even grab these bigger hits here and just pull them down another click. So let's see, they're at +3. Where's this at? So those are just driven up. What if we just pull them down to 0 with the rest of the kit? Kind of see where we sit there. So now if we're sitting at 7. that one hit there is still way too much. So let's put them back where they were. I feel like they had good energy, so I don't want to mess with that. We'll leave those alone, and we'll keep it at 5. Just a touch of the sub we're going to roll back. I want to find that ringing note. Right there. Now I've been digging this psychocircuitry compressor, and sometimes I just forget to grab that piece of my chain. Ease up on it a little bit here. Just barely tapping that 6th light is where I want to be. Okay, let's bring up some top end. I like that right there. We've got this big dip here in the high mid, so let's... Now that's a huge boost in the mid-range. There's a lot of energy that lives in the high mids and the mid-range. So I'm going to throw one more limiter just after the compressor. Probably pull it back. If I just set it at 5, this is sketchy, but I'm going to double up on it. We'll see how this sounds. I might nuke that second limiter. XI Studio 19, who said, ever tried mixing drums with a channel strip? Yeah, I used to mess with, I've got the SSL, the channel strip too, I've messed with as well. I mean, you could kind of call the fat channel a channel strip. There's also the channel strip plugin. The only downside, I think, for me with a channel strip is flexibility with tone as well as just everything else. I like being able to just kind of reach for and grab whatever I want, and then also swapping tones between EQ and compression. You'll notice I mostly use the stock EQ. I like a transparent EQ. I like it to do what I'm telling it to do and not anything else, if that makes sense. And then I'd rather the tone shaping, the saturation come from a compressor. I actually don't mind the extra limiter on the snare drum. Here's our overheads here. We'll pull out some of the muddiness here. There's definitely some harshness going on the cymbals around that 4K area. So I want to find what's going on there with the cymbals. Right there. You can literally see it spike up. Yeah, so let's get rid of that. Perfect. Here's our mono room. This is one of my favorite mics on the kit. I do have a preset that I usually start with. I like to roll off the top from it and just kind of focus on the beefiness and the mean mid-range sound of it. Kind of digging that. That sounded mean. I like that. Cool. We've got a tom filthy end here that uses all the toms. I am just going to mix that section. I'll pull in my preset EQ for toms. All these presets that I use, all they are, you can see it opens up pretty much a blank EQ. It just kind of has the band points set where I like to use them. It's pretty much the only thing for speed. All right, let's get rid of this. And then maybe a little top. I can get down with that. Let's see how that's sounding in context. I can dig that. I have some stereo room here. Ooh, a half dB up on the stereo room. It sounds beat. I'm digging that. Let's do a little bit of soft clipping on the bus. Half dB, maybe a dB there. Our bass guitar. I'm gonna leave that mid-range in, I think, and just hit it with the compressor to start. I'm gonna hit it pretty hard too. Just about like that. Now, after normal compression, I'm not aiming for total volume control with the initial compressor there. The 1176 I'm using is for overall volume control, but I like the energy of it as well. I probably wouldn't hit it that hard if I was using the stock compressor. I would probably aim for more gentle volume control, but because it's an 1176, I can really push into it and get that character from it. This here, the multiband, is where I'm going for more level balance, but I'm honing in on specific frequencies. We're going to look at just the bottom end here, 180 hertz and below. Excuse me, coffee's already coming back to get me. We're just going to focus on compressing the bottom end here to make sure the low end of our bass guitar stays in one spot. It always feels big, always feels beefy here. So I'm going to pull the multiband down here, 20 to 1. 1 millisecond attack, 10 millisecond release. We're just going to compress against the bottom. So it's 180 hertz and below. Just barely hitting it here. You can hear there's some breakup that's coming through from compressing bottom and like that, but I don't mind that. I like that. Now, the benefit of the multiband is we can take a look at the top end as well. And when he gets really aggressive in the solo section, it'll help hold that in place as well. Boost up some 80 here. I'm gonna add a touch of the 700 area. It's that honkiness, that mid-range bite. And then some 4K, just so it cuts through in the track. I'm digging that. Vocal Schmoll, you said excellent bass. I'm glad you're digging the bass. I'm really happy with it at the moment too. Just looking at the bottom. Here's our piano. Now that's a really good sounding piano, but I'm probably gonna thin it out here. That's feeling pretty good to me. It definitely needs some brightness. Now, with that big top end boost, there's some harshness coming out. So let's try Soothe, and we'll just go full range, but I'm going to grab this 4K band here, this red band, and let's try and find the harshness. Right there. That's not actually harming the piano very much at all. So you can hear, we thinned out the piano, but it locks in with the bass guitar. Oh. The slides on the bass are really cool too. Here's our rhythm guitars. Those are pretty beefy sounding. But look at how dialed in the tone is. That might be all we have to do EQ-wise. What a great tone. I'm gonna add some compression. This is more because I like this compressor than we need it for volume control. I mean, if you look at the guitars, they're super even all the way through. So you could get by without this compressor. I like what it does for the tone of electric guitar. For me, it's like it concretes in the tone. So you get this good tone out of your guitar with EQ, and then you add this compressor, and it's just like, this is our tone. It's gonna stay like this. You can hear it just kind of grabs our guitars, and this is where you're going to stay, tone-wise, volume-wise. Now I'm going to add this multiband just to make sure the top end doesn't get out of hand. I want to hear the chorus. That feels good. That feels heavy too. The only thing I'm missing is a little bit of length. And you can see I have these sending to an arena verb, and it's split and reverse panned. So I've got the splitter plugin going on, and it's on channel split. And then on the left side, I have this just literally just the stock arena verb from PreSonus here, from Fender Studio Pro now, I guess. And then same thing on the right side. One on the left, one on the right. And then afterwards, I've just got this EQ rolling off everything below 300. So our reverb isn't beefy. I don't want our reverb to sound beefy. I want it to sound mid-rangey. And I left the top end in there as well. So if it's airy, that's okay. But I'm reverse panning this reverb. So that means whatever we send to this, our guitars and our piano, the information that comes in the left side is going to come out the right side of the reverb here. So let's dial this in the verse. I just want some length on it. Unsoloed it. I just want to hear the beginning of the... Ooh, that's nice now. If you listen, we'll listen to the chorus here. Listen to the length it's giving the electric guitars. I'm going to mix in a bit of this distortion on the bass guitar. with a high pass here on the vocal.
It's not in the words that you tell me, yeah. It's not in the way you say your mind, oh yeah. It's not in the way that you came back to me. It's not in the words that you tell me.
I'm gonna hit this pretty hard with the compressor, kind of hold it in one spot. That way we can set the level for our vocal. Oh, vocal schmal, you say huge. I think it sounded pretty good as well. The guitar, the instrumental's locking in at the moment, so I'm pretty happy with it as well. If you haven't, make sure you grab the Multitracks, link in the description. You can download the Multitracks for the song completely for free. Pull them into your DAW. You can mix along, follow along the stream. Otherwise, just use them for your own mix and practice.
It's not in the way you say your mind, oh yeah. It's not in the way that you came back to me. It's not in the way that you, it's not in the words that you tell me. It's not in the way you say your mind, oh yeah. It's not in the way that you, it's not in the way that you came back to me.
Just clicking on the de-esser at the moment, but I'm going to add some top end here first, I think.
It's not in the way you say your mind, oh yeah.
I'm also going to throw on Soothe. I'm just going to leave it at the default for the moment, and then I'll boost top end here. Let's kind of see.
It's not in the words that you tell me. It's not in the way you say your mind, oh yeah. It's not in the way that you came back to me.
Can definitely dial up the de-esser now.
It's not in the words that you tell me. It's not in the way you say your mind, oh yeah. It's not in the words that you tell me. It's not in the way you say your mind, oh yeah. It's not in the way that you came back to me. It's not in the way that your love set me free. It's not in the look or the things that you said that you'll do, or the line. Love isn't always on time. Whoa, whoa. It's not in the way that you hold me. It's not in the way you say you care. It's not in the way you've been cheating my friends. It's not in the way that you stay till the end. It's not in the way you look or the things that you said that you do, or the line. Love isn't always on time.
That's feeling pretty good. I like where the vocal's sitting. It's very dry at the moment. That's okay. I'd rather reference, I think, before I start dialing in effects. Same thing on the drums. The snare drum's feeling a little bit dry at the moment, even though we cranked all that room reverb on the drums. That stuff gets eaten up really, really quickly once you add in guitars and keys, and especially the lead vocal. All of those other instruments just kind of absorb all of the reverb from the drums and just make them sound dry again. So we'll have to add some length to especially the snare and the toms. But feeling really good at the moment. I like the balance of the toms. Whenever they come in, they feel great. But let's loop this section here, and we're going to do some referencing, kind of see where everything is sitting for the track.
It's not in the way you say your mind. Oh yeah. It's not in the way that you came back to me. It's not in the way you say your mind. Oh yeah. It's not in the way that you came back to me.
I'm liking where it's sitting, so let's reference here. I'm going to push this up to 0. We're going to look at just the sub area here first. So 50 to 100 hertz is where I've been starting lately. I'm going to flip to mono. I'm going to crank this up. So if you're listening on bigger speakers, or if you're listening on a system that has subwoofers, you might want to turn your volume down a little bit. This is going to get very, very loud. I'm cranking up just the sub area to listen here on the headphones. We're going to reference between our track. I've got a couple reference tracks I use, and then we've got the original track in here as well. really like where that everything's sitting there. I'm happy with that. Let's check out the sub area. I'm surprised by how much bottom is is coming through on the original track. Honestly, that's what I was flipping back and forth and listening at. That's pretty interesting. Going back and forth on whether I want to add more bottom end to the bass, but I'm going to leave it alone at the moment. And let's jump up and check out the top end. Again, I'm very surprised at how much low end's coming through from the original track there. There's quite a bit of sub going on, which is wild for 78, I believe, 1978. That's pretty wild. All right, 8K and above. This is where we'll find out if our vocal is absolutely ruined, if I did a horrible job. Definitely put too much top end on the vocal. Let's zero it out and kind of see. I like that. I'm listening at the top end of the kick drum now, so listen to the click of the kick drum. I'm going to add just a bit more on the kick drum. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the snare now. I'm going to listen to the top end of the snare drum, see how everything's sitting. Cool, I'm digging that. Let's go wide and listen to the guitars and the keys. Listen to that on the original. You barely hear the keys. I don't even hear any guitars. They're barely there in the super top end. Very, very interesting. But let's keep moving here. Back to mono. 5K to 10K is the area we're looking at now. All we're doing here is going down frequency range by frequency range and making sure we're dialed in with our track here. I want to do another click here. It might be too much, but I'm going to leave it. I like it. I like the snare. Kick and snare sound good. I might open up the guitars just a click there. I dig that. It's not a lot more top end, but just a click back on that low pass filter kind of opens up the top end of the guitars. They're not there on the original, but I like where they're sitting. To me, it makes the track feel a bit meaner to have that top end fuzz. So I'm going to leave it. All right, let's dial in soothe here and make sure our vocal's not harsh. Wow, listen to how the only word I can think of is uncontrolled. The mid ranges, the high mids are on his voice. What a voice. I'm tempted to do a click higher here on the snare, so I'm going to go boop. I pushed just a touch more on the keys there. That's all. Nothing crazy. A click up in the top end and just a click up in volume overall. We'll see if the volume overall is necessary or if we just needed more high mid information. So let's see where the piano's sitting here. Nah, I like where it's sitting. It sounds good. All right. 500 to 1K, so getting towards the low mids here. This is pretty much prime mid-range territory right here. Snare sounds great here. little bit more bass there, just so it cuts through. I'm not too worried about hearing it too much there. Here is where I'm more worried about hearing it so it cuts through on smaller speakers. Kick sounds good. How's the bass sound? I'm going to do just a click up here, just like a half dB at like 300. Another half dB. I like where the vocal sits. Good, I'm happy with that. I think we're okay there. So let's keep moving. Last little frequency range here, 100 hertz to about 250 hertz. Let's make sure everything's locked in here. I like where the bass sits as well. That sounded good. Let's check stereo. If I could actually flip to stereo. I'm just going to come here on the piano and just add a half dB here. That feels great. Awesome. All right. Back to full range. It's not in the way you say a man. Oh, yeah. Now this ad-lib vocal is the same as the lead vocal, so we can just copy that over and set it the same. But let's work on getting effects dialed in. So I'm going to loop this first verse. Let's take a listen to the original and see where the effects are sitting.
It's not in the way that you hold me.
It's not in the way you say you care. It's not in the way you've been cheating my friends. It's not in the way that you stay till the end. It's not in the way you look or the things that you say that you do. Or the line. Love isn't always on time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Or the line. Love isn't always. It's not in the way that.
Cool. I'm going to mute that vocal for a moment and I'm going to blend in the snare reverb. So this is on the snare and the toms. Cool. Now we're just missing the background vocals here. So let's look at like the second half of a chorus line here. And we'll start dialing in these background vocals one by one here. I'm going to flip to mono because these are wide panned. I think I'm just going to pull in my lead vocal chain, and we'll kind of tweak it across each of them. We probably won't need that on the end, but I'll turn the de-esser on to start. So here's our first one.
Hold the line.
We could turn the reverb off for the moment.
Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line.
Bit top end.
Love isn't always on time. Hold the line.
Right there.
Love isn't always on time. Hold the line. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line.
Now with background vocals, I tend to over de-ess background vocals because I want the main sibilance range to be coming from the lead vocal. I don't want wide pen background vocals to have a whole bunch of S and a whole bunch of T coming through on them, so I'll over de-ess them.
Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time.
Cool. I like that, and sometimes I'll throw it on the bus as well, but let's just copy that over. Make sure the compression's okay.
Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line.
You can see even just two vocals, it builds
Love
up.
isn't always on time. Hold the line.
Better. All right, let's check our next harmony up. This should be our mid harmony. All I'm going to do is turn off the boosts, and we'll check our high pass filter to start.
Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line.
Cool, that works.
Hold the line. Love isn't. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time.
I like the de-esser. The de-esser's working really hard, but I like it.
Hold the line. Love isn't always on time.
Cool, let's make sure these are balanced.
Hold the line. Love isn't always on time.
Ooh, those are sounding really, really good. So we're gonna keep working like that. We'll copy it across, and we will work on the next set here. So these should be our high ones, and then we have an additional set of high ones that come in afterwards. See where these are sitting at.
Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time.
Cool. Let's give them some top.
Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line.
I like that. It's a little airy.
Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line.
We'll dial the de-esser up just a smidge there.
Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line.
That's feeling great. All right, here's our super high ones that come in on the back half of the chorus. So it's only the second lines. Same thing. Set our high pass first.
Hold the line. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time.
Cool, and then let's give it some top.
Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line.
I like that.
Love isn't always on time. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time.
Cool. And we'll pull. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna dial the de-esser up just so it kind of acts like some top end control.
Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. 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 Hold the line. Love isn't always on.
I'm gonna copy soothe over. We'll start back at 0.
Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time.
And then
Hold
maybe-
the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Hold the line, be free. It's not in the way you live or the things that you say that you do. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I like that.
Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Love isn't always on time. Yeah. Love isn't always on time. Love isn't always on time. Yeah. Love isn't always on time. Love isn't always on time.
That's sounding pretty good. I'm happy with how those are sounding. You said, hi, please react to the Taylor Swift album, The Life of a Showgirl. The newest record. Yes, I definitely am thinking about doing a video on that. I was talking with someone last week about which album to do. They were suggesting some of the earlier records as well, like Speak Now and Fearless and stuff like that. So I definitely need to get to some of those as well. But the new record is something interesting because it's a lot more modern, definitely far from where we are here. I think I'm liking where the backgrounds sit. Let's listen coming out of the first verse.
Get to the end. It's not in the way you look or the things that you say that you do. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's not in the words that you tell me. It's not in the way you say you're mine. Oh yeah. It's not in the way that you came back to me. It's not in the way that your love set me free. It's not in the way you look or the things that you said that you do. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold the line.
Lead guitar is
Love
next.
isn't always on time. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
compression. And same thing here. I'm just going to tap it with the multiband. A little bit of ringing going on there. Sending the lead guitar to this hall reverb here. Sounding really, really good. I'm going to loop this final chorus here, I believe. And we're going to do a touch of limiting on it. And make sure everything's feeling okay. We'll do some limiting, some clipping on the mix bus here, the mix A chain. We're going to add the parallel chain, and then we will be pretty much done with this track here. So if you haven't already, make sure you click the link in the description, grab the multi-tracks for this song. They are completely for free, so you can pull them into your DAW, and the replay stays up, so if you want to follow along and mix along with me, you can. Otherwise, grab them, use them for your own mixing practice. Definitely a fun one to work on here. So I'm going to hit play. We're going to pull in this limiter. I'm going to set it to soft clip mode, and I'm going to go just above where the highest point of the track is sitting. So it's sitting around 6. We'll go to 5. I just pulled down the lead guitar just a click so it sits more evenly with the vocals. Here's the parallel chain. I've got this 33609, so we're sending from mix A full signal into mix B here. And on mix B, I've got this 33609, 100 millisecond recovery, 2-to-1 ratio, -12 on the threshold, and I've got 8 dB of gain on the makeup. We're going to be shooting for about 7 to 10 dB of reduction with this. So really clamping down on the whole track here. And then afterwards, I've got this EQ adding 3 dB at 60 and 3 dB at 7K. So take a listen. I'm going to flip to mono. We're going to blend this in underneath the mix.
Love isn't always on time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. For the line. Love isn't always on time. Love isn't always on time.
Already making the vocal cut more.
Love isn't always on time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. For the line. Love isn't always on time. Love isn't always on time. Love isn't always on time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. For the line. Love isn't always on time. Love isn't always on time. Yeah. Love isn't always on time. Love isn't always on time. Yeah. Yeah. Love isn't always on time. Love isn't always on time.
There's one more frequency jumping out there. I can feel it.
Love isn't always on time.
Much better. Much better. Very, very smooth on the cymbals. Okay. I think our mix is feeling pretty good here. So I'm going to adjust the volume here, and we're going to do a full listen through of the track. So I'm going to kick my rig up to 0 here. You'll be listening at pretty much the same level that you have been. I listen like 6 dB quieter, but I don't send it out to the stream, send it out to YouTube 6 dB quieter. Otherwise, my voice would just tower over this mix the whole time. So we're going to listen full signal now. Quieter track helps me mix for longer as well. We've been going for about an hour 15, hour 16 here. So let's do a full listen through the track here, and we'll make sure this is all set to go. So let's see how we're sitting here.
It's not in the way that you hold me. It's not in the way you say you care. It's not in the way you've been cheating my friends. It's not in the way that you stay till the end. It's not in the way you look or the things that you say that you do or the lie. Love isn't always on time.
That sounds awesome. I am really, really happy with how that mix came out there. I didn't touch anything on that final listen through. That sounded really, really great. So as I mentioned a couple times throughout the stream here, if you want to mix this song, if you want these multi-tracks, there's a link in the description. You can download these multi-tracks completely for free, so you can pull them into whatever DAW you're using. You can follow along. The replay for the stream stays up, so you can follow along. You can mix along with me. Otherwise, you can just use them for your own mixing practice. There's so many other multi-tracks on that page as well. So if you click the link in the description, you can check out all of the multi-tracks that are on that page. So it's like 2 years worth of these weekly mixing streams. There's the multi-tracks, and then there's a link to the stream that goes along with that set of multi-tracks. So that's kind of how they're organized. So any of the multi-tracks that interest you, you can grab them. You can come back to the stream that goes along with it, the replay. You can follow along. You can mix along with me. Otherwise, just grab any of them that you want for your own extra mixing practice. I'm here every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Central Time here in the US. We've got a new set of multi-tracks. We mix it live, and the multi-tracks are always available for you to download. So I hope these are interesting for you. I hope they're helpful for you. They're always a lot of fun for me, and when I get a little bit of interaction in the chat, that's always cool as well. But that's going to do it here for this one. Super, super happy with how this song came out. Such a cool song, one of my favorites, and it's cool to get to work on it like this. So that's going to do it here for this stream. Thank you so much for watching, for joining in, and I will see you very, very soon in the next video.